This is an art pod, and this is Terry, and this is Gary. And not only have they agreed to give us a tour, but they're also going to share the good, the bad, and the surprises.
Start with the storage, which there's not much exterior storage on an R pod. It goes all the way across underneath. So right above it is the bed and the unit. So, and about half. So this is the half that only goes back about 18 inches. And then this half goes all the way back under the bed. So it is adequate it's a small unit, so you don't need all that much to bring along. The unit itself, it's a model 179, so I anticipate that means 18 feet roughly, front to back, and then with the tongue, gets it to about 20 feet then overall, which for a self-enclosed unit is definitely on the smaller side. Since it's a lighter unit, this one, I see it's listed at about 3,500 pounds. And considering we've got a bump out, which we'll see a slide out, which is on the lighter side. I bought it with the intent, we have a Honda Pilot. We towed it all the way from Florida, no problems with that. It does do a little swing, so with the lighter unit, but now we tow it with a full-size pickup truck. It does a little bit of swaying just once in a while. Not enough for me to even put any of the anti-sway stuff on it. I'm sure you could add that, and that would make it just rock solid behind the vehicle. And everything we've got is totally manual. I'm on this unit, so it's crank everything up by hand. That's my little workout. But you're only cranking it a little bit and it doesn't take long, so we don't mind on it. Here's our slide out. For a unit this size to have that slide out, which I absolutely love, and that was mandatory for us because we had some friends that didn't have a slide out. Even though it was a bigger camper, it still felt smaller than this one did. So that was an absolute must, and that's why we went with this R pod. Here's the water unit, and here's what's funky about an R pod. It has two. So there's our black water outlet, the sewer. Over here is our gray water tank, so our wastewater. So now that's really strange. So of course you'll still want to empty your black water first, as always, but there's two ways you can do this. So it's unique to our pod. So one way is if you come back around, you hook up a hose and flush it out, the black water, this way. Well, I've never seen that until this unit. So that's one way to do it, is to flush it the way they intend it. Or the other way is these Rhino blasters, so I can hook it up to the black water, hook up a hose and flush it from that side, because it's a little unusual to have when you're dumping at a dump station to have a hose that'll come around to that side. So that's one thing I didn't like about it. This little thing kind of helps eliminate that part that I didn't like about it. So it does have an awning, and which is quite nice actually, but we very seldom do because we've got a clam that we typically use instead. That's one thing we did like, is picking up a clam to camp in and stay out of the bugs.
Show me the inside.
All right.
All right, we'll let
We
Terry
love our
do the
inside. Small but sweet. One of the greatest things that we really enjoy in this tiny little camper is the amount of what I feel is a nice amount of storage. So for the kitchen, starting with kitchen storage, we have 2 cabinets. And of course, when you're working with the cabinets, we found it necessary to do like some different shelving to give you adjustable, because there was just the one shelf in there. Over here, the storage, again, I think is very nice. We have a great big cabinet underneath here, and in order to make it a little bit more usable, we've just put in the little bins so that it's not sliding all over when we're traveling, and so we can easily access it. And then 3 drawers here and another cabinet here. So for the tiny space it is, a lot of really nice storage. As far as functioning in the kitchen, we love the big countertop. They put the glass over the stove, so that gave us a lot of extra room. You can use it for countertop when you're not cooking, and then open it up when you want to use the stove. And it's nice because the glass protects, the stuff maybe that you have in the back. Again, they did something like that with the sink. They made a neat little cover for the sink, and so that can come off. And then a large space over there. The window, I think, makes it nice and homey that it's open and a lot of light. Then swinging over here, we have microwave, which is interesting. We had to YouTube it to figure out how to use it, and They said it's a pretty high-tech one, but it is high-tech in that it's convection. You can roast in it. You can bake in it. A lot of different things. We have not even begun to tap all of the things it can do. Kind of your classic refrigerator, which honestly, I'm always amazed at how much it can hold in the refrigerator. And one thing nice about this that I understand from other units that's a little unique is that we can run on electric, gas, or battery. So we have 3 different power modes that we can use, which makes it nice for when you're all plugged in or you're working off the grid or traveling for that matter. So this is our dining room area, connected, of course, to the microwave and the refrigerator. And the reason I mention that is if you look, you can see it's framed in. And this is the entire slide out, which we think is magical because we can function in here when the slide out is in, but as you can see, this U-shaped dining area is just really nice. You can lounge this way, that way, that way. If you want to use this for extra sleeping space, you can put this down. So the table is down, and then you have your pads to make it into a nice sleeping area for even 2 people probably could fit on there very nicely. One more thing about the dining area that we really appreciate is the amount of storage that we have. We have 3 cabinets up there that go all the way through. So a great place to put books or extra food, whatever you need up there. And down in the seating area, these are actually additional storage areas. You can see we just have a wet dry vac in case we need it, or a little cooler. So there's both of those there. So those are awesome. In the back, we have a queen size Arpod bed. So maybe just a little bit smaller than a standard queen size, but we like it. The windows, of course, on both sides give a lot of breathability at night. And this is pretty amazing as well. A TV that you can watch from bed, or you can watch it in the dining room, whichever works best for you. So that's pretty convenient to have that. We have seen where some people have, there's just a flat wall here. Some people have put some pretty cool storage units on there, which is kind of nice. Up here, they have a real nice Jensen stereo, which puts out some great sound. So we're pretty happy with that. And again, our pod does a very nice job with storage. We have a nice cabinet for hanging clothes, a mirror, which is helpful when you need it, and some nice drawers for storage. Last of all, we have our little bathroom, which is completely functional. We have the head there, a little corner sink, and a shower. Of course, a fan up there. So it virtually does everything that you need it to do. Got a little curtain that can come across for when you're showering so the door doesn't get wet and the water stays in. So fully functional. One thing, I guess, you're working with such a small camper, so I guess you're going to get small space, but that would be something I would like to have to be a little bit bigger.
Yes, someone my size just fits in there. I'm 5'9". If you're any bit taller, it's a tight squeeze to do a shower, but we use it, so.
So you're 5'9". Can you go stand in the shower and show us?
Oh, sure, you
there.
can see. Ready, Thor, let's show them how tall. So if I was 5'10", maybe I guess you could fit. But there is a fan that does work in there as well, so.
Absolutely. Yes, you do fit at 5'9".
Yeah.
5'10", maybe
Yeah,
questionable.
and I'm basically 195 pounds. I think if you go 250, you're in trouble. It's tight. Okay, so now to highlight, the biggest draw for me on this unit is the weight. The advantage to it's 3,500 pounds. You can pull it with almost any SUV will tow up to like 5,000 pounds. So that was the big drawing card, but we do pull it now with the truck. But then the disadvantage to that is to get that weight down, a lot of the wood inside is pretty, low quality. It's pressed wood, things like that. But for us, it was worth it to go with the lightweightness of the unit.
And the
being able to
affordability of it too.
And yes, it was definitely affordable, even though, we did purchase it used. So that's one big thing. You saw the bathroom. It's tiny, but they do make bigger R-Pods. So if you need a bigger bathroom, you go with a bigger R-Pod, I guess. But then they are heavier, just like the little Maxes and all that. And then you get into that weight range.
The other thing too is that the tinier bathroom gave us a larger kitchen, which we like for being able, the both of us, to be working in the kitchen and be comfortable doing that.
Yeah, that counter space in that kitchen for this size unit, there's big RVs that do not have the counter space that this one has. So that was one really big selling point on this one too. And it's nice having a small RV to be able to whip around, turn around in spots, backing into spots. Already in some of the campgrounds, we've had some tight spaces, and when you get a 25 footer and so, they would have been tight to get into, and probably might not have even been able to get into one of the sites that we were at. So we do like the shortness. There is an advantage to that as well. The disadvantage is then it's a little harder to back compared to a longer camper. Then the shorter campers are tougher to back. But nonetheless, you just have to look at space and cost. And do you want to deal with a 25 footer? We looked at some, and they were nice, but they are definitely bigger, longer, heavier, more expensive.
So all in all, we'd have to say we love our little R-Pod. It seems to be very spacious for what we need, and we like to take it anywhere. And as we like to say, not all who wander are lost. We just pack up and we head out and follow the sunshine to have a wonderful camping experience.